Hey traders, welcome to another edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex, featured by Trading Analysis. Also lots of things to go through today. ECB meeting and the press conference is just now. ECB raised rates 0.75 basis points. Our chart of the German 10-year yields is working nicely, which I'm going to show you. And as usual, we're going to go over the macro conditions, and of course, we're going to switch to cryptos. You can leave your comments and chart requests in the comment box. We're going to do that after we finish the usual presentation. So let's dive in. Let's look what's going on this Fed CME tool. So we have a very important CPI coming next week. 21st September, of course, Fed meeting. The columns have changed significantly towards the 75 basis points move, 0.75 basis points move. Now probability is 84% that we're going to go higher, of course, for 75 basis points. In this respect, I would rather wait CPI data because this can change, but most likely this time Fed is gonna press the pedal and go forward for this amount of the rate hike. But I still think that 2nd of November and this chart has greatly changed because the probability of another 75 basis point hike was changed towards the 51, and we are slowly again seeing a neutral stance growing. So I think this next week CPI data will be very important, and this might change significantly after that. So let's see on the next Crypto Lab, next Thursday, we will have this data, and let's see if this is going to change for the November meeting. I think all of that is already priced in, at least the next 1 or 2 rate hikes into the market. We're going to look S&P as well from the perspective of Terry and Bennett from the Trading Analysis, which are leading the stock service. So we're going to go over that and try to pair that with the conditions on the other markets and as well as in cryptos. So let's look 10-year yields. The chart didn't change significantly from the last Crypto Lab. We are still moving on the upside towards these potential resistance levels, which we have around this zone, and we expect after that to see a smaller or a bigger reversal. And as the rates are going slow, as you can see, this chart develops over a large number of weeks and months. We do think that we're going to have some type of a pullback coming soon from the area a little bit above these current levels. So if we look also the 10-year yield on the Bund side, which is the European equivalent of the US bonds, so our chart actually functions very nicely because we have seen a nice probe of this larger degree support line, channel support line, and we are developing currently this primary wave 3, which clearly has a nice 5-wave subdivision, and we identified this already at this point as a pretty vertical move on the upside, which actually depicts most likely a wave 3 of 3, which usually have such a verticality ascribed to it. So we do see this develop further, so this might go to a new high. As the yields are concerned, we are trading at 1.767. I didn't follow the press conference because from the ECB because it's still ongoing one. I just heard the opening statement where Lagarde is actually stating that inflation is pretty high and they have to go on the hiking spree. I don't think the capacity in Europe with all of these problems, as I said a couple of times, is so big as is in the United States. So I think this will develop with a little bit of lag, but still I think we're going to see a fully 5-wave move from these lows, which actually implies that after correction we're going to see a further development on the upside if we see this almost the 40 years chart where the yields was moving significantly lower. So we have clearly taken the path of the 5-wave move from the lows, which implies at least another move after a pause on the upside. So I don't think we are out of this inflationary scare. I just think that when this 5 waves up develops, we're going to see a pullback and then a continuation in 2024-25 further on the upside. So dollar index has reached some of the levels which we have looked in this crypto lab. I do think this possibly might be a reversal time for dollar index. I don't think we're going to go at 120, which is a kind of a logical level when you look the whole chart. I will go to a monthly just so you can see how the things are actually developing, and also this RSI on this monthly level, which I know it's a big time frame, but I like to look at it because it gives you some visibility. We have seen these high readings only 2 times in the history for the last 40-50 years, and as you can see, we are reaching that levels here as well after we have seen some larger pullbacks. So I do think this will be the terminal a place where the dollar index might start to show some weakness on the downside, and that we are going to see some signs of a potential reversal, because technically, however you can count this either ABC and then X and then another A down in B up in C on the upside, we will see a larger or a bigger pullback on the dollar index, possibly starting in the next couple of weeks. So I don't think we're gonna reach upper levels as long as we hold this pretty tight resistance channel line and also a couple of fib ratios that I highlighted here. If we switch to commodities, our Thomson Reuters index chart works quite nicely. We have identified a proper target for the possible reversal. We have seen a 5 waves down from the highs, and now some type of a possible C wave on the downside is still moving in the directional corrective move towards some of the targets we have highlighted. So definitely, if you look a couple of other commodities like net gas, if you look also oil, and also if you look soybeans, corn, wheat, all of them are trading significantly lower than before. So I do think that that will be actually very quickly seen in the inflation readings that we're going to see in the next couple of months. And on basis of that, our thesis, which has been going for a couple of months now, that we are going to see rates lower, maybe it's going to come quickly to resolution towards that scenario. As we see all of this starts to move sharply down. So as the oil count, I got a couple of questions for the oil wave count. So I do look this higher time frame on oil. Let me just turn this to a log scale. And I do think we are still with some type of the 5th wave development. I don't think this was a 5th wave truncation and that we are going to see oil fall much lower. So I do see this as a corrective pullback. And in this situation, I think the oil still has an upper hand of developing further higher after this pullback is done. We are seeing some of the levels a little bit lower where we might find some support. And of course, this wave count we pair also with the S&P, and I'm going to show you the S&P chart from the trading analysis guys, which are leading the stock service. And actually, we don't think that this is the kind of Armageddon scenario where the stocks are going to trade significantly lower, at least for now. We do see this as a complex zigzag correction, actually a triple zigzag, where we have 2 legs more on the downside to actually reach a potential final support and a final destination. You can also go and look for that video where the Bennett explains the situation on the stock indices at our channel, and this is usually streamed on Wednesday, and the last one was actually streamed yesterday. So this is the wave count we are tracking for now, which has been working so far nicely, and we do think there is a little bit more downside, and then small pullback in a B wave, and then a final push down towards the January of 2023 in this Z wave, from where we expect to see further bullish development on the S&P, which might actually pair up with these yields moving lower. So if we switch to cryptos and if we look what's going on, let's first, of course, look at gold and silver. Let's go over that. So gold didn't invalidate the bullish wave count. It is very close. I don't like much these developments here. I have developed a couple of wave counts which are not very far from these lows. If we invalidate this support, they are somewhere around 1,550, just a little bit lower. So I do see still this being a fourth wave in gold and that we are going to develop higher, possibly when yield starts to move lower. Maybe we're gonna stay in this sideways movement or with a little bit lower levels for some time, but I do identify this still as a fourth wave with the possible developments further higher. And the situation is the same in silver. We didn't see any confirmation on silver going higher so far. So we do see some type of support levels. If this is a complex or a simple correction, it doesn't matter so much because the levels that we are looking will pair up. Either if you count this as a WXY or a little bit more complex or a simple one, because the support levels on any of these corrective wave counts are between the 15 and the 16 zone. So I do expect silver in some time to find some type of a reversal, and we do of course are going to wait for some larger degree confirmation that the bullish wave count or a C wave on the upside has started, because we do think that this is just a corrective move around 30, 34, 36, and then we're going to see a larger reversal in silver to the downside. So let's switch to cryptos. Let's look what is going on the total crypto market cap. So we have started to introduce the idea pairing the wave count with the S&P and the Nasdaq, that we are in some type of a possible flat here with one more small move to the downside. So we do think that there is a real possibility, looking all of these charts, that this on the end can finish as a flat. This is still not a wave count invalidation, so we are struggling to anchor this wave 4 here, still juggling around. And the same situation is in Bitcoin, which I'm going to show you just right now. We are still hovering around the previous lows, and as I said before, until the wave count is officially invalidated at 13.826, I will not look for any bearish scenario as my primary wave count, because this still can be a flat and kind of a pairs up with the possibility of Bitcoin to go one more move lower down to 14 to 16,000 region before we see some reversal on the upside. So officially, I still don't have any stance on the kind of, let's say, a big bearish development in the Bitcoin until I see the wave count invalidation, which comes at the levels that I've already shown you. So I do think still we are in some type of a flat ABC to the downside, and then we're going to develop a bullish reversal on the upside together with the S&P. I think Ethereum is in a little bit more different situation. So Ethereum is still holding towards and above this 200 moving average. Bitcoin is not, and also the Ethereum Bitcoin cross is pretty bullish for the Ethereum. So I do think we are going to see, while the stocks potentially finally move to its final destination, at least for now, we are just going to see an ABC pullback while the Bitcoin goes to a new low, and this indeed will be still looked as a 5-way move in Ether and further move on the upside upon the consolidation. So I'm going to stay much more for the time being bullish Ethereum than a Bitcoin, at least until this correction unfolds, and potentially Ether will actually not fall to a new lows below these previous lows. It's just going to most likely do an ABC pullback, and the Bitcoin might actually in that time go to new lows, because it looks pretty corrective and pretty sideways if we look the lower time frame, this is relatively can be interpreted in a couple of times, in a couple of ways, but it's too choppy, too corrective. We can make some mumbo jumbo, leading diagonal and a flat, but most likely the path should be to lower levels towards this target. So this is just a bit of discrepancy between the Ether and the Bitcoin wave counts, which I think can pair very well with the developments on the S&P and potentially Nasdaq as well. So let me look at questions and let me go and see some of the charts that you would like us to look. Let me just have the XRP. So I still think that the XRP is in some type of a triangulation. We don't see anything still impulsive on the upside. This is the real data here. We just don't have it on this chart package. So I do still think that this is a wave 1 and 2, up in 3, and a big consolidation in a 4th wave before we go on the upside. So there is still no any indication of the impulsive move to the downside. For that, we will have to go below this 0.1138 in a 5-wave move. And for now, we are not even close to it. So I do still observe this as a 3-wave moves everywhere, as you can see. And for now, I do consider this A, triangle B, down, and C still developing towards a little bit lower levels, because we can identify a 5-wave move on the daily chart, potentially going towards these levels as a lows in a C wave. So I don't think that we have any viable bearish continuation structure so far on XRP, and I will still continue to look this as a sideways consolidation before we start to move further on the upside. So let me look a couple of others. Hi William, how are you? Schnitzel is asking for AVAX. We're going to look for AVAX. Hi Elena, I hope you are all good, guys. And Oleg, of course, always present. Hello Oleg, I hope everything is fine at your end. Let's look a couple of more cryptos. I've been asked about the Tronics as well, so I don't see any major developments on Tronics. We still might be in this some type of a complex correction or a smaller B wave for the further development. So it's a very choppy price action if you look at these higher time frames on Tronics. So you cannot derive much of the information. We can construct some type of a 5-wave move on the upside, and then further this is ongoing correction, either completed or with a little bit more downside towards this 200 moving average equality levels. Maybe it's still going to push a little bit more lower before we see some reversal evidence on Tronics. So there is a 5-wave move from these highs that's relatively kind of very visible without constructing of a leading diagonal here, because the wave 4 didn't enter the territory of the wave 1. So this is an impulsive move to the downside. So this might be just a kind of a sideways pause, still ongoing, maybe some type of a triangulation or other form, but most likely either a little bit lower or a larger wave 2 will be actually the final push to actually complete this consolidation or a correction, which are still exhibit evidence that this is just a corrective move before we start to move higher. So I don't see anything in Tronics which will indicate a substantial move down from that respect. I will go over Link. I got a couple of questions and requests before over Link. So Link is still, in my opinion, in the 4th wave correction. So I do have a wave count which depicts this as a corrective move. And I still have a view that most likely this is going to come to an end soon, and that we are going to see some evidence of the potential bullish reversal here in impulsive sequence. Of course, we need to wait for that. so that we can say we have a viable reversal signature here. Of course, this doesn't represent that still in a full force. Most likely, we might even drop further, and then from there develop a full, very visible 5-wave move on the upside, challenging these previous swing highs, where I label this as a B wave, and that will be a solid foundation to look for a link to have a small pullback and then continue higher and actually complete the whole sequence in a very visible 5-wave move. So from that we can also go and see what is going on ADA. So let's look at the chart. I will use a different package for that because I do have a Binance feed, which is a little bit more convenient, I think, in this chart. So ADA is still basically in a corrective mode. So if you consider this a way forward, I don't think that's viable anymore. Because this is a too long consolidation to pair with this correction. So we can clearly switch to a wave count where we consider this as a first 5-wave move completed, and that we are in some type of a ABC correction, which is still ongoing. So we don't see any signs from ADA of the possible reversal on the upside. So this looks just not so nice in a sense of kind of looking for a bullish resolution here. It's pretty sideways, only 3 waves on the up, 5 waves on the down side, so we can presume that most likely ADA will have a little bit more downside movement before we see any evidence of the turnaround and potential move up in the bullish uptrend. So I don't think ADA has still completed this correction. If you look closely, you will see on a smaller time frame that this is just a big consolidation without any significant impulsive move on the upside. So we cannot still be bullish as much as we wanted to on ADA, and most likely this corrective process is still not done. So let me look at Avalanche from the perspective that we have. Let me just go there and search for Avalanche chart. So still the same thing. We don't have a reliable source of labeling this as a wave 2 or a end of the corrective process. We do see a potential of the leading diagonal and a pullback. So there is a possibility that this turns out, like in Ether, to be just a corrective process a little bit lower. But one of the main points that this loss cannot be actually taken out. So I will put a question mark here until I see some bigger, larger developments on the upside. I will observe this eventually how the other cryptos develop. And then if we come close to these levels and override them, we have to label this as a wave 4 and down in a wave 5. Anyhow, I will say that this will be most likely the region of the reversal if this one doesn't present the impulsive sign to move further on the upside. So in this situation, when you try to pick some longer term lows, it's much better to see and to look for a larger time frame confirmation than on a smaller time frame, because they're more viable, they're more firm, and the probability they're going to develop will increase substantially for you. So in that case, when I'm faced with this type of possibilities, I'm gonna pay attention on this region here and on this region here for a possible confirmation of the new uptrend on the upside. So let me look another request. So let's do a couple of more. I don't want to keep you much guys on the stream. I try to shorten them out. I think 1 hour is too long, so we are cutting this for last couple of weeks. Let me look. Polkadot. Okay, so Polkadot also do not have any viable reversal sign. Let me just look. A chart and show you what I think on Polkadot. So I don't think that the process, as you can see, is still done. It's pretty much similar situation as in Avalanche. So we do see some type of a pullback or a leading diagonal with the correction on the downside, but so far we don't have any confirmation that this is a full reversal signature. So one very small trick that you can do there, you can put some type of a corrective channel, and then a breakout of that channel will be kind of a firmer sound or a sign that you are most likely going to have a larger degree confirmation that the trend is changing. So far, if we count this as a bullish development in 5 waves on the upside, we have to consider that this might be some type of an ABC movement, and that we are in the last stage of it. Either already we are there and we just seek a higher time frame confirmation, or we have a little bit more downside to go. Clearly, from the perspective of the support and resistance levels, this will be a very or substantially firm resistance because of these developments before. So I will most likely look for a little bit lower region from where we can see a viable sign for reversal. So definitely for now, we are seeing just a 3-wave move development. So there is a sound basis for us to believe that very soon, either from here or from here, Polkadot will actually start to exhibit the signs that the trend is changing on the upside. Hey, Analyze, how are you? Ethereum Bitcoin chart, we can look at. Yeah, MATIC, I do regard MATIC still in the uptrend. So I'm showing that all the time to our members. I don't have a complete wave count here, I think. But anyhow, I do see this still as a potential higher degree development in MATIC. So we have the similar situation, although you can make the case, actually. I think I have a better chart here, so just let me show you that so I don't have a trouble with this. So let me go like this. So MATIC is, there is a case you can have a straight 5-wave development here. I don't like some of the proportions, but you can ascribe that to a possibility of the first reversal. So I do see MATIC most likely like in Ether, if we consider this a 5-wave move on the upside. So we might be in some type of a wave A down, some type of a flat, or this ABC is already done, or a little bit more upside, depends what will happen in the next couple of days. But I do see this, if Bitcoin starts to go further lower to our levels, MATIC can see some corrective pull on the downside in 5 waves in the couple of next 1 or 2 months. And then this will be actually a wave 2 development. So I do have an option that this is a 5-wave development and that we are going to see rather a little bit more weaker pullback that we are going to see on the Bitcoin on the downside. So I relabel this as a wave 4. And I have, as you can see, put it here, orange wave 1, because I see some of the possibilities in the not relation between the waves, because they're awful, but I will hold the case that most likely this is a 5-wave move and that we are going to see just a pullback, much rather than that we are going to see a new lows on MATIC. Okay, so I will go with that case for MATIC, and then a further development on the upside. So I'm going to stay bullish on MATIC, considering this just a correction while the other markets develops lower levels. Okay, so let's look a couple of others and let's close with that. I don't know what's going on Shiba. Shiba for me is still doesn't have any impulsive features from the lows. As you can see, the chart, sorry about these markings, sometimes they stay. If we look, this is not, of course, the whole price chart. I'm just observing this, what's going on there. Only 3 waves up, so we don't have a viable a signal from the Elliott Wave perspective that this is anything, any sustainable development on the upside, at least if you ask from the Elliott Wave perspective. So I do see only three-wave development, and subsequent might consider it to be a little bit more bearish than bullish. So I don't see anything substantial on the bullish side for now on Shiba. And the same thing is also with the Dogecoin. We didn't see anything of the real bullish nature here in 5 waves. Actually, we only see a 3-wave development on the upside and then a reversal to the downside. So obviously Dogecoin is still not ready to perform any viable reversal signature towards the previous swing highs. So only 3 waves up, so we can, I think, clearly now erase the bullish possibility and actually seek for new lows as a most likely event before we start to depict or see some of the reversal signatures in 5 waves on the upside. So for now we don't have that. We actually broke the lower channel of this corrective channel of the lower line. So most likely Dogecoin will continue towards this channel resistance levels or support levels. We have a little bit more on the downside, at least for now. Oh, sorry guys. Let me look ZIL, and then we can finish the stream. So let's look what I don't know if I looked ZIL for a long time. Let me just I think I have it on the on this package. Just change this one. I have a couple of them where I look for a longer time frame wave counts to have on a perspective. So ZIL. No, this is not the right one. I'll try to find it here. Yeah, I don't see here still that we can anchor this wave 4. Okay, so even we can pose the question, if this was a truncated wave 5th, we actually can look this as a potential double top. Here, so 5 waves down, pullback, so most likely we're gonna see a little bit more downside before we see some meaningful reversals. So for now, we don't see anything of telling us that actually this correction is done. We have a 5-wave move lower and some consolidation, which indicates most likely we're going to go below these levels, at least for now. So let me just englare the chart, and we cannot actually say that we have any substantial. I mean, there is a chance that we go in some type of a corrective move, because we might consider this as some type of a flat and then reversal. To consider this ABC for now, I don't see any evidence for that. So I cannot guarantee, or I mean, we cannot guarantee anything, but I cannot state actually that we are, let alone that labeling this as an ABC will be very difficult, that this is a done deal and that we're going to see more upside. So let me just look one more for you, and then of course if you want to become our client, you can visit us at tradinganalysis.com. We have a trial and very extensive service and coverage of the crypto space. Of course, that is in the case if you expect a kind of a solid analysis from macro crypto perspective without any hype, and we don't use a word to the moon as a serious one. We just use it as a joke. So let's look at Ethereum, Ether. Maybe that would be the best thing to do. Ethereum, Bitcoin. So Ethereum Ether still does not exist. So yeah, the situation here might be coupled with a couple of options. So either we are very close to complete a wave 3, but in general, if we even ascribe this as a completed wave 3, because we have some of the levels where we can actually look that 1618 was paired, as you can see, very close to these highs. And then if that is the case, in any case, you're going to see some type of a pullback. So if this is an impulsive move up, we're going to have a little bit more upside. And then Bitcoin will wake up and start to move further for some time. And then you're going to see a continuation. Either case, if you see this is a wave 3 and a pullback, in either case, this pullback will mark a further continuation of an Ether dominance towards the Bitcoin in this relation. So I do think this is not a done thing. So I do expect from the both perspectives a correction and then further elevation of the either both of them can go on the upside, but I think Ether will have the upper side in the next bull run over the Bitcoin because the chart, as you can see, didn't actually completed a 5-way move on the upside, and we don't have a wave count invalidation level on the intermediate level, let alone primary level. So this is still a very valid wave count. We just have to observe these levels around 1010. So 0.1010, from where we might see some type of a pullback that might come and actually disturb this correlation on the Ether side, and then we might see a new uptrend emerging for the Ether over the Bitcoin. So thank you guys on the attention, and I hope the sound was good. And of course, we're going to continue to monitor this macro data, because CPI next week will be very important, and that will be reflected in all of this that we are actually stating for the last couple of months, that while we see commodity prices down and the CPI embedded into the figures with a lag, we think that 8.5 will go down. Just the question is how much it will go down and how that will be viewed by the Fed, which will be important from the monetary side and their decisions. So see you guys next week. In the meantime, click the like button and subscribe. Of course, if you like our content, it will help us to bring this to more viewers. And see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.